At Crimson Lights, Nina and Jill are glad that Chance's injury wasn't worse and that the bastard who did it has been caught. Chance declares that justice has been served. Nina thinks it was maybe a much-needed wake-up call. Chance warns his mom to stop, but Nina tells Jill that her son might leave law enforcement. Jill marvels that it would be a huge shift for him. She tells Chance if he does decide to quit the PD, she thinks he should come to work with her at Chancellor and she'll teach him the ropes. Chance finds this to be a generous offer, but he has no experience. Nina and Jill work to persuade him. Jill thinks he'd be really good at it. At the Abbott house, Kyle asks Diane where his dad is at. He's upstairs. She wanted to talk to him again first. Kyle warns her that he and Audra didn't end on good terms. It's unlikely that he'd be able to convince her he wants back in on Tucker's plan. Diane asks if there's something more going on. Kyle doesn't like keeping this from his dad. Diane urges him to tell his father when it's the right time for him. Jack appears. Tell me what? Kyle ventures that he's sorry he's been immature about his offer at Jebot. Jack reassures him. Kyle wants him to know that he's considering his offer to be COO of Jebot. Jack beams. That is fantastic news. He asks what prompted the change of course. Kyle just needed time to self-reflect, starting with Billy accusing him of being a spoiled brat. Jack recalls that he said he had something in the works. Kyle relays that it didn't work out and credits Diane with helping him realize he needs to prove himself to his dad. Jack thanks Diane with a kiss, asks how he can lure Kyle over the finish line. Kyle doesn't need any more time. I'm in. I'll take the job. I'm back where I belong. Jack embraces him. In the club dining room, Devin spots Tucker and heads over to his table. He sits and tells his father that he learned something new about him this morning. You can't help yourself, huh? I'm talking about your latest lie. It's one too many, and he's had enough. Devin continues, are you that arrogant to think you were going to get away with everything? Tucker learns he's talking about his collusion with Mamie. Tucker moans that they've discussed this. Devin knows what he said, and it was a lie. You're also using her firm to make investments in Chancellor Winters behind my back. Tucker says he has no say in how Mamie spends the money. Devin wants to know what his father is after. Tucker claims nothing. The only thing he's ever wanted to do is be closer to him. Devin says that's not happening because he can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. He warns Tucker to keep his hands off the company, which is Neil and Catherine's legacy, and to keep his distance from him and his family. I'm done with you. On his way out, Devin stops to kiss Ashley on the cheek. She walks over to Tucker and asks, what the hell have you done now? At Society, Devin updates Abby that Lily told him this morning that she and Jill found proof that Tucker's involved in Mamie's investment at Chancellor Winters. He's making her financial firm to make investments and flat out lied to him. Abby declares this is horrible. Devin says he's done and cutting him off. Abby feels Tucker will never be a loving, trustworthy dad. He wants to be that for him, but he's not capable of it. Devin doesn't think Tucker will back down, but he'll do whatever he wants to do. The only thing he can do is figure out how to protect his family and company from whatever he has planned. Abby will talk to her mother. Devin decides to get a hold of the family. Tucker does need to be stopped, and I think I know how to accomplish that. At Crimson Lights, Jill gets a text from Devin and asks Chance to consider her suggestion. He promises. Once Jill is gone, Chance tells Nina, Oak, I know you want to say something, so go ahead. Nina points out that she and Jill never see eye to eye. It's synchronicity in the universe. Chance has zero interest in sitting behind a desk crunching numbers. Nina keeps trying to sell it. Will you just think about it, please? Chance promises. At the club, Tucker tells Ashley his personal matter with Devin is not her business. She reminds him they share a grandson and tells him his life is imploding. Whatever affects Devin affects her daughter and their grandson. I'm willing to listen. Do you want to fix things? If you stop being such an ass, I might be willing to help. Tucker concedes that Devin is upset. He assumes it's Phyllis spreading lies and exaggerations about him. He's cut me out of his life. Ashley asks what the lie was that destroyed their relationship. Tucker invested with Mamie and lied about it. She's invested in Chancellor Winters, so Devin assumes they're colluding and that he wants a stake in the company. Ashley muses that it's the only thing that makes sense. He snarks about her low opinion of him. Ashley will say he's an excellent grandfather, so she'll help him mend things for his sake. Tucker asks Ashley, "You would actually help me with Devin?" Ashley thinks Devin needs a relationship with him and knows what it's like to cut off a parent and regret the lost time. Tucker asks what she'd want in return. Ashley gets up to leave. Tucker complains about her running away. She sits back down. They bicker, and he invites her to admit this whole thing was a ruse since she got back from Paris. Tucker accepts her offer, and she storms off snarking at him to have a great day. At Lily's place, Devin tells her and Jill that he confronted Tucker about his collusion and he lied. He thinks he has some kind of plan, and they need to be ready for him. Jill exclaims, "Oh, we will." Lily tells Devin he deserves better. Devin had no choice but to cut him off. They all agree that they need to figure out what Tucker is up to. Devin has an idea that he hopes they'll both be on board with. At Crimson Lights, Chance tells his mother he's not ready to upend his career a week after getting shot. He doesn't even know if he'd be good at it, and it's a big change. He committed himself to a life of service, to serve and protect. Nina complains about him always ending up fighting for his life. He knows it scared her, but there's one thing that's been eating at him. His whole life he ran away from the Chancellor legacy, and he wonders if it was because he thought he wouldn't measure up. Nina thinks Jill would smack him for thinking that way. Chance figures maybe it's time for him to rethink his place in the family business. Nina deems this a dream come true. Ashley arrives at home and applauds the news that Kyle is coming back to Jabot as COO. Kyle is determined to be a team player. Ashley tells the group that she happened upon a conversation between Tucker and Devin, who is convinced that McCall is working with Mamie. She muses that she does hate Jill. She offered to help mend things between him and his son. Jack feels she shouldn't get involved and Devin should be separated from his father. Ashley says that's not his call and Devin deserves to have a relationship with his father. She promises she doesn't have any intention of reconciling with Tucker. It's just about a father and son. Jack complains to Ashley that exploiting a father and son relationship. She's meddling and should be walking away. Ashley doesn't see anything wrong with nudging them in the right direction. If all the good vibes may make Tucker back off of Jabot, no one taps into Tucker's humanity like his son. Jack still thinks they should enact his plan to release the dirt on Tucker. Ashley, frustrated, explains that the stakes aren't high enough with his plan. If he publishes the article and it doesn't stop him, they have nothing. Diane and Kyle agree with Ashley. Jack observes that he's outnumbered. They'll sit on the article. He steps out to take a call, and Ashley thanks Kyle and Diane before leaving as well. At Crimson Lights, Chance leaves a message on Jill's voicemail asking to meet up and talk. Nana thanks him for taking the first step. She gushes that a suit and tie would be so cute. Chance warns her not to get ahead of herself. Nana teases that she'll stick around Genoa City a bit. They embrace. At Lily's place, Jill thinks Devon's plan is risky and requires a level of trust she's not feeling right now. He thinks it's the best way to get the information they need. Lily feels it may be the only chance they have to find out what Tucker's up to. Devin would love to be able to throw Tucker's lies back in his face. As they agree to the plan, a knock comes at the door. It's Mamie and Nate. Devin invites them in. Nate says he was surprised to get the invitation. Devin announces they have something very important to discuss with them. At the Abbott house, Diane is glad Kyle took her advice to come back to Jabot. Kyle says taking the COO position was easy. The next part of the plan, he may be out of his league. Diane says he will be the one to save Jabot from Tucker and then he'll have hero status. When Jack finds out what he's done for the family, he'll be so proud of him. She hugs Kyle and leaves the room. Kyle pulls out his phone and texts Audra that he needs to talk to her. At Society, Ashley asks Abby if she's spoken to Devin. Abby says he came there after the confrontation with Tucker. Ashley says Tucker cares very deeply for his son. Abby snarks that he doesn't love him enough not to lie. Devin says he's done, and she believes their relationship may be severed forever. Ashley asks how she feels about the situation. Abby sees Devin is hurting. Ashley asks how she'd feel about trying to mend things between the two of them. Abby can't make these decisions for Devin and wouldn't forgive herself if Devin got hurt again. Ashley could help her. At Lily's place, Mamie asks if they're there to finalize Nate's return to Chancellor Winters. Devin says they first need her to be completely honest. They all know she and Tucker have some kind of plan in the works. Jill adds, a plan that involves ousting me. Lily says there's no point in denying it. Nate asks Mamie, have you just been using me? Mamie assures him she was genuinely trying to get him back into the family. Devin says, you were willing to lie to all of us to make that happen. Mamie claims she no longer has any affiliation with Tucker since becoming aware of his transgressions. Jill asks why they should believe her. Mamie insists they can trust her. My ultimate goal has always been to unite our family under one corporate umbrella. Devin says they'll give her a chance to prove it. She needs to tell them what Tucker's real agenda is. If she can do that, they can start to consider bringing Nate back to the company, but only if you are honest with us. In the club dining room, Tucker gets a text from Audra saying Kyle is reaching out. He replies and tells her to reel him in.